What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the 13th studio album, You Are Safe from God, here by the deathcore band, the Acacia Strain. This is one of the most underrated bands in the scene. When talking about the pioneers or the best bands within the genre, naturally you hear about Whitechapel, Suicide Silence. Depending on who you ask, you might even hear Despised Icon or even Job for a Cowboy. But rarely does the Acacia Strain pop up in the conversation, even though they've been around way before a lot of those bands, and they're also way more active, and they've been way more consistent. Since they released their near-perfect album, Slow Decay, in 2020, they've been experimenting a little bit, to say the least. Their double album thing from 2023, titled Step Into the Light and Failure Will Follow, saw them exploring two different types of music. The first one was like a slam, grindcore, thrashy kind of thing that was like 8 songs long. It was 20-something minutes, while the second one was really doomy and sludgy, and it was 3 songs long, but spanned 40 minutes. And it was like hearing two completely different bands. Some fans loved both of them, but I would say most loved at least one, especially for their creative efforts. And I feel like what they were exploring on those two different albums has been combined and mashed together really nice here. And you kind of get the best of two different worlds. You get to see that quite a bit on the first single they released, A Call Beyond, which is just 2 minutes long. The vocals are super raw. The song morphs into this thrashy, groovy section, and then the breakdown gives you a chance to breathe before it frantically takes off again. Looking at the opening track, Burnt Offering, it has a really thick, bassy rumble that really sets the tone and the rhythm and the floor for this single. Verse 2 is super quick, and it sets up the story of a God that has turned his back on the world and people, and it has kind of like a Bruce Almighty kind of thing to it, of a God that's got a magnifying glass and he's burning us like if we were ants. The bridge is heavy as heck, and I really like the squealing that pops up within the riff. And then we have the song Swamp Mentality, which is just this wall distorted sound that comes at you, with the vocals kind of sitting back in the mix a little bit. And I love the back and forth kind of sludgy tempo mixed in with the quick, as fast as you can be kind of riff that pops up. The lyrics read like a horror movie, and the music is the perfect brutal soundtrack to go along with it. The Machine That Bleeds hits like a sledgehammer with its nasty riff and raw drums. Verse 2 features Brody King from the band God's Hate, and he brings a real solid hardcore vibe to this track, which I feel like is kind of present in most of these songs. Like I said, it has kind of like a grindcore slam feel to it. It's like underlying, and it kind of peaks up here and there throughout most of these songs. Like in the song Morning Star, which is super heavy. I love the song structure where it starts out kind of sporadic. You don't really know what's going to happen. It's broken up. And then after the first breakdown, all the pieces come together and it just trudges on and feels like it's never going to stop. It goes all the way through to the second breakdown. And I can just envision like a house show where this band is playing, they're in the basement, and there's just a bunch of people throwing punches and kicks as they're moshing around to the song. It gives it like a real underground vibe to it, and I really enjoy that. Almost like this band isn't as big as they are. Like this is actually like their third album they're releasing. I Don't Think You're Going to Make It is a pretty haunting track. Verse 1 has a callback to their song Our Only Sin Was Giving Them Names, while verse 2 is more of just straight up death metal. The atmosphere throughout the song, especially in the outro, is pretty creepy with that guitar just like hanging out in the background. It makes it feel like something evil is watching you. And then it continues the atmosphere as we go into the song Acolyte of the One, where it also continues the story of taking out the non-believers, I guess you could say. The bridge has a really fantastic riff to it. The lyrics are surprisingly catchy. They make you want to sing along to them despite the horrific context that is involved. And then we have Aeonian Wrath, which is the shortest song on this album, but it still delivers. It feels like it's just building up into one of the most epic moments on this record, and it absolutely delivers. It's very explosive and in your face. I believe the song Holy Moonlight is a reference to the game Bloodborne, which is the name of a sword, the Holy Moonlight sword. The song portrays a ritual accompanied by a chunky riff, harmonic breaks and a background melody that makes the song feel even darker than it really is. The lyrics are really brutal, but there's a willingness to participate in this sacrifice that renders you useless. And I'm not sure if it's like a physical type of ailment that comes on you, or if it's just the fact that you've been brainwashed to the point where you no longer serve a purpose or have any type of quality to you anymore. And then there's the song Sacred Relic, which is about a god that's been killed, and it has almost like this chanty hook to it with a slam riff and drums that never let up throughout the entire song. It does become a little repetitive for me though, saying there is no God 13 times in the outro, but I do like how it fades out, makes it feel a little bit different. It doesn't feel so dull and overwhelming. And there's a little bit of contrast in the song World Gone Cold, where he shows some redemption from the themes of, you know, killing them all, sacrificing yourself, and getting rid of the non-believers, and even the people who are believers are completely useless because God is just going to kill you anyways, that a lot of the other songs have in there. I'm not really sure what the lyrics are about, but this song is pretty vulnerable. It's very rough. I'm not sure if it's a personal thing or if it's, I don't know too much about the themes of this album, if it's based strictly on something they made up, the Bloodborne game, or if it has something to do personally, but this feels pretty personal to me. And then we have the closing track, Blood Loss, which is 13 minutes and 48 seconds long. This closing track is almost as long as all the other songs on here combined. It has some black metal doom vibes to it, which I really enjoyed. The vocals aren't super clear, at least in the beginning, and the slow pounding rhythm is really nice. There's Alison Ferris from the band, the shoegaze doom band Blackwater Holy Knights, if that's what you really want to call them. I guess they're shoegazy. She's featured in the bridge, and she offers a very chilling interlude that pops up twice. I really enjoyed her vocals, and I really enjoyed the way it broke the song up into almost 3 different sections. The 5-minute mark has a dissonant riff where the song really starts to feel like it's getting in its groove, and it's followed by this bass-driven groove. Like I said, there's just a lot of sections of this. This really showcases the band's underrated ability to write very, very interesting songs, and Vincent's performance on this is next level throughout this entire album, but specifically here, he is just so good, and I feel like he's doing stuff that we haven't really heard him do all that much, especially throughout a 13-minute long song, and the band is just composing everything so well. It's absolutely brilliant. This song impressed me so much. And like I said before, they combined all the elements that were found on that double album thing here into this one album without making it over an hour long, which very easily could have been done. There's a bunch of short songs that equal about 24 minutes, followed by a 14-minute long banger. All the short songs get straight to the point, and they're surprisingly not all the samey in terms of the way they sound. Honestly, like, the songwriting sounds very fresh each time. I will say they don't really blend together all that much, and then they close it out with a very theatrical, dramatic masterpiece. My only issue with this album is with those shorter, slammy kind of songs. They do kind of lack dynamics. I wish there was a little bit more vocal dynamic and a little bit more riff dynamics, just to make it feel not quite the same tone, if that makes sense. The overall sound of it is kind of the same. You get the same tones, you have the same distorted sounding guitars, they're playing the same kind of low riffs. Every once in a while you get a squeal in there, but there's no like high melodies or anything like that, which I do is like kind of the point and the theme and the overall just sound that they want on this album. But as a listener, thankfully these songs are pretty short because that overall tone would get pretty wearisome. I know most people probably won't complain about this. This is mostly more of a me kind of thing more than anything else. But with all that said, I gotta give You Are Safe from God here by the Acacia Strain at 8.8 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of You Are Safe from God here, what you would rate it, what your favorite song is. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out a lot with YouTube's algorithm, and I'm also like 4 subscribers away from 1,500 subscribers, which is a number that I never thought I would hit. So if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It'd be really cool to hit that number. It'll help out my ego a lot, help me sleep better at night. It just made me feel better about myself, honestly, more than anything else. And I just want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me sit here and talk about music. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.